When you swallow a single bite of food, it immediately enters into a highly specialized, two-stage biological assembly line. We tend to lump all abdominal pain together as a general stomach ache, but doing that ignores the distinct organs doing the heavy lifting, the intestines. This chart highlights the extreme physical difference between these two stages. Your small intestine is roughly 20 feet long, which completely dwarfs both the 5-foot large intestine and the average human height. It earns the name small entirely from its diameter. It is only about an inch wide, tightly coiled to fit inside your abdomen. The large intestine is significantly wider, about 2.5 inches across, even though it is a much shorter organ. The body sacrifices structural uniformity here to create distinct anatomical zones, each tailored for a specific survival function. We are going to look at these two organs side by side to understand their structures, how they divide the labor of keeping you alive, and where they commonly fail. Treating all digestive discomfort as identical means ignoring the biological design of these two specialized organs. We start with the small intestine, the primary chemical extractor. This is where the vast majority of digestion and nutrient absorption takes place. To pull this off, the inner walls are densely lined with microscopic finger-like projections called villi, covered in smaller microvilli. These structures multiply the internal surface area to an extreme degree. Flattened out, they would cover an entire tennis court. Across this massive surface area, your body pulls broken down proteins, carbohydrates, and fats out of your meals. Enzymes from the pancreas and bile from the liver mix directly into this area to complete the breakdown of those complex molecules. In the final step of extraction, sugars and amino acids pass right through the walls of the villi and directly into your bloodstream to fuel the body. The extreme length and that velvet-like internal texture are evolutionary design choices strictly intended to maximize energy extraction. But that hyper-specialized tissue is extremely fragile. When those villi are blunted or destroyed by inflammation, like what happens in celiac disease, the available surface area shrinks drastically. This structural damage directly causes a cascading biological failure known as malabsorption. Without nutrient extraction, you experience unexplained weight loss, severe chronic anemia, and extreme fatigue. It creates a dangerous paradox where a person can eat massive amounts of food but still slowly starve, simply because their extraction machinery is broken. Unlike a standard bout of indigestion, small intestine failures deplete the whole body's energy reserves. Issues here are rarely localized pain. They represent a critical failure in your primary fuel supply line. Once the small intestine has pulled every possible nutrient out, the remaining liquid food residue passes through the ileocecal valve and enters the large intestine. On this microscopic slide of the large intestine wall, the mucosa layer, marked M, completely lacks villi, featuring deep, straight crypts instead. Below, the thick muscularis externa, marked ME, provides the heavy muscle required to push solidifying waste forward. The primary job of the large intestine is reclaiming water and critical electrolytes from the liquid chyme to prevent you from getting dehydrated. To accomplish this, the transit time slows drastically, dropping from a few rapid hours to a sluggish 12 to 48 hours. This slow-moving environment is the perfect home for your microbiome, the trillions of symbiotic bacteria housed specifically within the colon. These bacteria ferment the tough plant fibers that your small intestine couldn't process, producing essential byproducts like vitamin K. The large intestine intentionally sacrifices the ability to absorb calories, prioritizing hydration, waste compaction, and housing those crucial bacteria. Relying on a massive bacterial colony for fermentation comes with a noticeable biological trade-off. When bacteria break down complex fibers, a process called saccharolytic fermentation, they inevitably produce methane, carbon dioxide, and hydrogen gases. That gas production translates directly to physical, highly localized symptoms like severe abdominal distension, bloating, and flatulence. The colon is also prone to motility issues, which happen when the muscular contractions of the large intestine move waste either too quickly or too slowly. If transit is too fast and water isn't absorbed, the result is diarrhea. If transit is too slow and too much water is reclaimed, it leads to constipation. Large intestine symptoms are almost entirely issues of localized waste management and pressure physics. This is an entirely different mechanism from the systemic malnutrition caused by a small intestine failure. Let's evaluate their designs side by side. Structurally, 20 feet of narrow, villi-lined small intestine contrasts with 5 feet of wide, muscular large intestine. Functionally, one extracts macronutrients, the other recycles fluids. Failure causes systemic energy loss versus localized plumbing issues. Despite these stark differences, they function as a synchronized team, occasionally compensating for one another when minor imbalances occur. Understanding this strict division of labor demystifies gut health, allowing you to trace your specific symptoms directly back to their anatomical source. If you found this breakdown helpful, subscribe to Insight Anchor for more clear, visual explanations of how the human body operates. The gut operates as a beautifully engineered two-stage factory, where anatomical structure completely dictates our daily health.